100% all natural. Tasty. Healthy. Versatile. 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
Okay, happy Tuesday! Happy Tuesday ho! Magandang gabi ho sa ating mga kababayan dito sa apat na sulok ng United Kingdom. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Ako po si SONNY LARAGAN, no? At syempre, hindi lang dito sa ating mga kababayan sa apat na sulok ng United Kingdom, kundi maging sa apat na sulok ho ng Europa. Magandang hapon, or evening pala, should I say, dahil kung Greece, Athens, 2 hours ahead. So, bale, alas 8 na ron. Dito ho, alas 6:08 dito ho sa United Kingdom. Live ho mula sa ating mga studios dito sa London ang ating programa. Ito po ang Legal Advice Corner every Happy Tuesday, no? Siyempre, magandang araw din sa ating mga kababayan sa anumang bahagi kayo ng mundo. Nanonood sa atin maging sa Amerika, sa Canada, sa Middle East, at siyempre sa Pilipinas. Welcome pa rin kayo dito sa ating programa, no? Tuloy kayo, kabayan. Okay, well, hindi ho ako ang special, kumbaga, ang pinaka-star of the show. Ang star of the show ay itong ating napakaganda, matalino, no? Brains and Beauty, na managing partner po ng Deo Volente Solicitors. Mga kaibigan, ang ating star of the show, walang iba kundi si Attorney DANNA Quinto. Attorney, happy Tuesday!
Happy Tuesday, Mr. Laragan! Happy Tuesday, everyone! Welcome back sa ating Dagdag Kaalaman Day, sa ating Happy Tuesday. Well, happy every day. Yes, welcome back. Happy Easter as well. We just came back from a long weekend dito sa UK. Friday walang pasok, Monday walang pasok. So fresh tayo today. It's been a good long weekend kasi ako medyo last week ata sinisipon-sipon ako, so I really had I used the time to recuperate.
Okay. Hindi ka lumabas. Walang labas. Hindi ka lumabas. You just stayed at home.
Lalabas sana ka. So yeah, I used the time to recuperate, spend time, tanawagan mga family members, and just really rested and cooked. I cooked a fair bit. So yun ang dami ko nakita, nag-barbecue, nag-Easter egg hunt. Ako nagluto. Napakadami kong niluto. Ayan,
oo.
Sa bring me, show me ang ginawa na. So that's sisig.
Ano to, attorney? Sisig ng may itlog? Tapos meron kang
fried prawns, yung fried hipon. Tapos yung soup is sinigang sa miso. And then yung isa eggplant, talong, salad na talong. And then just lemonade with some strawberries and but spring. I wanted to feel a bit springy, so that's the reason why.
Ano yung parang puti na yun? So alam ko yung eggplant, yung talong. Ano yung parang puti kanina, attorney?
Sa gitna?
Sa gitna. Hindi sinigang. Ano yan?
Orchids yan.
Orchids lang. Decor lang.
Decor lang yan.
Wow. Yan lahat naubos mo? Isang kainan?
Hindi, mga dalawa yan. Dalawa
kainan yan.
Dalawang kainan. Kaso, syempre, pag nagluluto ka, mahirap magluto na pang-isa. Normally, I cook in bulk. So, I cooked as well. Nagluto din ako adobo, hindi ko pinakita So, I put it in the freezer.
Okay.
But yeah, I had cheese as well. I think pinakita kanina. Very proud of my little cheese platter.
Oh.
May maliit na
Anong cheese yan? Brie or goat's cheese? Ano yan?
no, that's blue cheese.
Ah, blue cheese. Oh, okay, okay,
Blue cheese
okay.
yan.
Wow.
May parang kamag-kamag.
Ano yan?
Yeah, that's blue
Almonds?
cheese.
Almonds yun plus
Almonds and
uh,
cashew.
cashews. No,
Yeah.
cashew nuts, no? Oh, ang
Mm.
ganda ng presentation mo, attorney, ha?
And orange marmalade. So for me, ang isa sa pinaka-favorite, favorite but weird
Oo.
combination of flavors. And I swear, para sa akin, one of my favorite talaga to. Blue cheese
Oo.
with orange marmalade. So you put that on a cheese cracker o kaya croissant. Ay nako, napakasarap, Mr. Laragan. Napakasarap.
Wow. Wow. Ang dami ko namimiss na, no?
Yeah,
Grabe, no?
so, yeah.
I'm actually into cheeses. My salad every day.
Really?
I have parmesan. I've got goat's cheese. Ano ba ba? Yeah, blue cheese. Meron din akong brie.
The brie is very good. Brie and
Cheddar
pan.
cheese. Oo,
Cheddar,
yun.
yeah.
Oh, the regular
Yeah.
ka lang. Kasi kailangan ng hard cheeses eh. So, Gouda.
Yeah.
Have you heard of
Gouda
Gouda o
is
Gouda?
very nice. Yeah, Gouda is very nice as
Oh,
well.
Gouda
Yeah.
is actually Dutch. Cheddar
Yeah.
is British, you know?
English, yeah.
Oh,
Cheddar is
yeah,
English.
yun. Pero ang galing ng food mo, ha? So marmalade, doon sa may biscuits mo. Ano yung biscuits mo?
Yeah.
Plain or orange, sabi mo? Orange ba, sabi
Yeah,
mo?
yeah, that's a bit cheese. Yung cheesy biscuit.
Cheesy
Because
biscuit. Oh,
yung
okay.
medyo strong yung flavor ng blue cheese. So, kailangan mo
Oh.
for me, but personally, you have to really balance that with something. That's the reason why it really works. Yung salty and sabi nila very very strong flavor ng blue cheese. You mix it with
Oo.
sweet flavor of orange marmalade plus a cheesy biscuit.
Oo. Sarap, sarap,
Or
sarap.
croissant.
Teka muna.
Ako napapansin ko yan sa croissant.
Teka muna. Yung kanina kinain mo, sabi mo, dalawang kainan yun. Dalawang kainan within the day o dalawang kainan
No,
2
within the
days?
day. Yeah, I think yan.
Oo, within the day yan. Tapos yung cheese, yung kanina pinakita mo marmalade, yung mga biscuits na cheese biscuits, ano yun? Kailan mo kinain yun?
May cheese pa rin ako hanggang ngayon eh. So I grace throughout after a few hours.
After a few hours, okay, all right.
Like a
Ooh.
cheese course. Pero yung cheese, I've been using that as like a breakfast. So nilagay ko din yan sa English, crumpets, Mr. Laragan, yung crumpets.
Oh,
So
okay.
favorite ko
Wow.
talaga yan eh, blue cheese.
Wow.
And then orange marmalade on any carbs, on any bread or croissant or cheese cracker. It's very good. So yung cheese na yan, tuloy-tuloy na yan. Meron pa rin ako bukas ulit. Bukas ulit, yeah.
Nainggit ako sa iyo, ha. Hindi rin ako lumabas kasi nga, 'di ba? Sabi nila mga 11 how many millions daw nasa road, no? So delikado kung lalabas ako. And besides, wala si Sol, no? Si Sol is back in the Philippines for about a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
She left Friday. So the whole weekend, well, it's a good thing nag-barbecue yung daughter ko, no? And so I had to go to Croydon, Meacham, Croydon yata. Hindi ko alam kung Meacham siya o Croydon. And we had some barbecue, no? Nag-enjoy naman ako. Ang sarap ng barbecue. And, yeah, oo. Pero ang dinner ko, other than that day, ang boring ang dinner ko, ang kain ko every day, I just eat a couple of eggs.
Yeah.
Avocado. And
Oh,
then
wow.
Greek yogurt, either a choice of blackberry or raspberry, and then pistachios, and then a bit of black chocolate. Yun ang routine ko every day.
Very Mediterranean, ha? Kaya ako slim na slim, gwapong-gwapo, kaya...
Hindi, nainggit ako sa iyo dahil yung para wow, nako may talong na, 'di ba? Ano ba 'yun? Yung may mga ano ba, sibuyas, ano ba mga laman nun? Mga nakapatong.
Sibuyas, may garlic, may
Good.
ginger, tapos yon, and then masarap yung mahilig ako sa talong. Parang siguro figured it out now na I really, talagang, yan, sa ano ko pa kinukuha yan, Mr. Laraga? Asian store. Talagang pupuntahan ko yan sa Asian
yung talong
store.
na mahaba talaga, hindi yung
Mahabang talong po yan.
Hindi yung aubergine natin kasi mga kaibigan dito, yung mga nanonood sa amin, dito ang tawag namin sa talong aubergine. Ang aubergine talong din. Kaya lang, Maliit ho, parang bilog na
Bilog.
pandakekok ba? Maliit lang, oo. Hindi ka mukha
Kasi
sa
hindi
Pilipinas,
ganun yung
mababa.
lasa. Hindi ganun yung lasa. Mas malasa yung talong sa
Oo.
Pilipinas. Yung
Ayun.
belong the eggplant itself. So, whenever you get a
Oo.
chance, I really
Baka
get that.
may style diyan, 'di ba? Minsan may isa pang style ng cooking diyan. You parang ano ba tawag doon? Parang tino-toast mo ay parang how do you call it?
Torta.
Iniihaw
Or,
o
yeah,
torta.
yeah, torta.
Or
Yeah,
iniihaw mo
torta.
tapos babalatan mo and then lagyan mo ng egg and
Yeah,
'di ba?
yeah, that's right.
Tortang yeah, talong. Yeah, oh, nami-miss ko. Meron isang plain na luto yan, favorite ng father ko, yung hahatiin lang into four, tapos ifa-fry lang. Yun
Yeah,
lang.
I have that as well the next day.
Nako, yun ang weakness ko. Pag naka-fry lang na talong,
Finry
wow.
lang, finry lang, and then I had eggs with it. Tapos may fried rice ako, yung natira kong, ano nga ba, yung longganisa, may konti ako natirang longganisa, nilagay ko sa fried rice ko.
Wow, uy,
Tapos,
longganisa, ha?
longganisa. Tapos yung
Oh.
talong, yun lang din, katulad po sa father nyo. But yung tinuro sa aking trick, para
Hmm.
medyo hindi para mas maganda yung pag-fry is lagyan mo ng madaming salt muna para matanggal yung moisture. So you really have to brine. Lagyan mo lang ng salt pag-cut mo. And then that yung talong ay magsisweat, lalabas yung tubig niya. And then you wipe it off with tissue paper. Pag
Oh.
nilagay mo dun sa pag finry mo yon, mas wala na siyang moisture, so talagang purong talong na hindi siya pipitik, hindi siya and then pipilantik, ano ba yun yung term? The oil wouldn't splash out because there's no water inside. And it browns beautifully.
Hindi
So
ba
somebody
salty siya? Hindi ba siya salty?
no, ano mo lang naman tatanggalin mo yung salt after. So you brush off. The
Okay,
salt
okay.
is just intended to draw out the moisture. So you draw out the moisture. Makikita mo talaga yon na talagang lalabas
okay.
yung salt. So with that, kasi ang problema minsan sa talong is madami siyang moisture and hindi siya mabilis maluto or there's problem with that.
Okay
You
na.
really have to draw out the moisture first. So
I'll
that's
try
really
that.
good.
I'll try that.
So
I'll
draw
try
out the
that.
moisture in mga 10 minutes and then para hindi siya sobrang maalat, you brush it off with talagang pupunasan mo ng tissue paper or kitchen towel para matanggal yung moisture at matanggal din yung salt and then you fry it. It fries beautifully after that. May isa pa akong trick. So yung
Okay.
mga nagda-diet,
The
the other
diet.
you do that first. Ang problema kasi sa dati, ang tagal mo bago, lalo na kapag hindi yung talong natin, yung aubergine. Pag pinito mo, masyado siyang nag-aano ng oil, so you tend to use up a lot of oil.
Oo
The trick to not use up a lot of oil is to use egg whites. So, ganun yung gagawin mo. The first preparation is you draw out the moisture, lagyan mo ng salt muna.
Okay.
Wait for 5-10 minutes, brush it off, dry it off, brush off the salt. And then yung white egg, beat mo white egg lang po you dip it in white egg and then you fry it. You will get the coloring, yung golden color, without you using up a lot of oil. Kasi mangyayari, ipoprotect niya yung aubergine.
I haven't tried that, no? Pero ako, ang ginagamit ko, I don't know what oil you use, no? Ang dalawa, tatlo, may bago ako ngayon, pero hindi ko pa natatry. One is, of course, olive oil. Tapos, second is butter. Third, may ghee butter ba yun? Ghee ba yun? Ghee butter? Yung sa India?
Yeah.
Oo, I haven't tried it. It's very healthy. Pero nakabili ako. Meron pa, hindi ko pa nagagamit eh. But it's either butter ako or, ano pa nito? Olive oil, no?
You should do this trick, Mr. La. It really saves you. Yun yung problema ko sa aubergine dati. It really absorbs a lot of oil. So if you dip it in egg white, hindi mo malalasahan yung egg white. Hindi siya parang torta actually. What it'll do is it'll give a protective layer dun sa aubergine, the slices, bilog yung slices no? And then it will brown beautifully compared dun sa wala siyang ganon, tagal bago mag-brown.
What do you do with the remainder white? What do you do with the remainder egg white? Ina-apply mo sa face mo or ano? I don't know. Pwede rin kasi.
Yeah, you can do as a egg white.
Ano ginagamit mo? Ano ginagamit mo para sa omelette?
isang egg white lang naman yung gagamitin.
Isang egg white lang. Okay. Hindi naman palang ano. Para hindi lang maging oily tingnan, no? And mag-brown na maganda.
Mag-brown na maganda, and so that it's also for health reasons. So you don't use up a lot of oil just to brown yung aubergine, because the tendency of the aubergine is to absorb as much oil as possible. So with that, it browns, but you're not using up a lot of oil.
Meron akong mukhang may hobby ka na lumabas na post sa Facebook. At nag-comment ako dahil you should be meeting si Dan. Have you heard of his name? Si Dan?
No, I haven't. Narinig ko lang po sa inyo.
Ano pa nag-mental block? Rebelo. Oo. Meron siya mga collection ng mga watches. Talaga nang kolekta siya.
Yes, that's it. That's Smith's Deluxe.
Ano pangalan to, attorney? Uy, maganda yung kanyang lagyan na. Smith. Smith's. S.
Deluxe. Deluxe. So it was, meron tayong viewer na taga Cheltenham So this was probably a late 1950s to a late 1960s. It's a mechanical watch. So it's not, walang battery yan, mechanical lang po yan. And it's still working, medyo mabilis masyado.
Hindi. Okay. Mabilis lang konti.
It probably needs to be serviced, but it is working. And I got it off eBay. Walang strap tapos parang hindi pa masyado. Na ano lang yan, nakita lang ng dating may-ari niya na bumili daw sila ng isang box of items from an auction house. And there it was at the bottom of it. Hindi nila, kumbaga, hindi siya kasama dun sa, hindi naman intended yung original, nandun lang siya. So Smith's Deluxe is the last of the English makers. Marami tayo, puro Swiss, di ba?
Yes.
Watchmaking, it's all Swiss. But actually, the English watchmakers were quite prominent nung araw. And Smith's is one of them. And Smith's used to... they still do a bit of I think they're still around, but not in watches anymore. They stopped making watches in the late 1970s. They certainly stopped their Cheltenham factory. So Smith's Deluxe was made in Cheltenham. This was definitely made in Cheltenham. One of the good ones, they said, sabi ng mga collectors. And this is a lady's watch. Yung men's version nito at that time was used by the first man on Mount Everest. So akala ng lahat Rolex yung suot niya. But actually a lot of people says it is actually Smith's Deluxe. Meron nang ata either dala siyang Rolex dun sa backpack niya. But he was definitely ang accepted ng mga collectible is it was a Smith's Deluxe. And after nun, Smith's made a Smith's Everest na watch. So yeah, they're quite well known. English, very English.
Okay. Ano tawag dito? So one and the same though? Or two separate watches though? Is this one and the same watch?
It's the same.
One and the same watch.
Ako lang nag-install ng stuff niya.
Galing. Okay. Nice price. Nabili mo na maganda. Mahal ba nabili mo o okay lang?
No, yan yung actually hindi yan mahal.
Okay, good.
That's not bad. I've got a few na medyo mas dyan, and I'll post it later on. But yung iba kailangan pang i-service. So, I'm not doing the services on that one.
So ito ang kinokollect mo, attorney? Yan ang kinokollect mo watches. Ano pa ba mga collectibles mo? Anong ginagawa mo?
Yeah, konti lang. I've developed a hobby or a fascination with vintage, generally with watches. So nung bata ako, ang rineregalo sa akin kapag graduation or pag may, I think graduation was always a watch. Hindi naman ganon, hindi yung sobrang mahal. It was just a special watch kung ano yung kaya namin at that time. So growing up, this one's very special. So yun yung parang natatak sa isip ko na siguro, you bet it's a good it's a good way to mark a milestone in your life. So for years I've always just kept one watch. Medyo may sentimental value yung mga watches sa akin. Yun yung ano ko. So this one I got when I qualified.
Ano yan, attorney?
This is a Buluva. Hindi siya this is a Buluva.
Okay.
Buluva
is Swiss, diba? Swiss yan, diba?
It's a Swiss, yeah. This is a Swiss. But ang reason po nun is when I was younger, nung 4th year ako, yung binigay sa akin nung nag-graduate ako was a Buluva. So yun yung sabi ko, Yung unang nung nag-qualify ako, hindi naman ganun kalakihan yung budget ko. So,
Oo.
I
You bought
bought
the same.
myself bought
Another
the same just
Bulova.
for sentimental value. And
Oo.
ever since, ito talaga yung day-to-day watch ko. And I wouldn't probably change it. Yung day-to-day watch. I collect little watches for, for keepsake, and maybe sana, maybe one day, hopefully, I
Wow.
can, as an investment. But this one is wala na siguro value to. Wala nang value to ngayon. But
Yes,
this
may
is very
sentimental
special.
value dahil, di ba? You
Nung
qualified, di ba? Hindi,
I
siyempre,
qualified.
bagong-bago ka pa lang and wala ka pang ganong kalaking sweldo, but
No,
at
I
least you
qualified.
marked it as a milestone of, ito, this marks my
Yeah. I think I bought
qualification.
it one first salary ko nung nag-qualify ako.
Good,
So
good.
that's very special to me. Kahit talagang
Oo.
masira-sira, 2 beses na ata tumuntikan mawala. Pero nakikita
Oo.
ko pa rin.
Oh,
Naiwan
good,
ko to
good.
sa spa.
That's good. That's
Matibay
good.
to. Very, very, very. And it's more sentimental value. So, sa akin, yung isang nabili ko na parang collectible, I bought a same 1960s na isang watch then. And binigay yon as a presentation piece, 25 years na service. Pero
Mhm.
hindi ganun kaganda yung dial. I'll show you next time. Siguro next
Sige,
week I'll
sige,
show
sige.
kung ano yung ginawa ko. Baka magalit sa akin yung mga ibang collectible dahil pinakialaman ko yung dial, inano ko. But I'm proud of it kasi sabi ko,
Oo. Hindi,
mind
you made, di ba? Sarili
yeah.
mo yan eh. Make your mark. Ika nga, di ba? So,
Make your
okay lang yun.
mark.
Okay lang yun. Well,
There's a
talking of
mechanic.
ganyan, no? Talking of Bulova, kasabi mo, nung dati nun, may Bulova ka, tapos nung nag-qualify ka, Bulova pa rin, no? Si Mayor Danny Favor, ang kotse niya, every time, Volvo. Kasi first time, may nagbigay sa kanya ng Volvo rito sa UK, nung bago silang dating. So when he bought, upgraded lagi, or nagbibili silang bago, laging Volvo. Oh, pareho
May
din sa akin. Pareho din
sentimental
sa akin.
value.
Since 2000, nung first na kotse ko, Toyota, Corolla, up to now, every year, siguro nakailang 7, 8, 9 na akong Toyota, it's always Toyota. Kasi hindi nasisira.
Nakakatawa.
Oo, puro Toyota. Siguro next time, pagka, magpalit nga ng iba namang brand. No? Pero, yeah, ganun. So, parang sa'yo,
Pero may
attorney, no?
sentimental value.
May
A lot of
sentimental value yan.
sentiment.
Yan.
For
Good,
me,
good.
pag tinitingnan ko siya, kasing edad niya kung ilang years ako qualified sa UK. And that's very important.
Ano tong pinapakita ng direct? Direct, ano to? Merong, ano tong, akala ko may sakit si attorney. Akala ko may sakit yan.
Kahapon lang yan.
Kahapon lang.
Bukayan na
Oh,
ako.
ano ba, ano tawag yan? Kettlebell? Kettlebell?
Kettlebell.
Oh, okay,
Gusto
okay.
ko ng likod ko ngayon, no? Yeah. So, I
And
think a
then,
few things. Yun yung ano natin. So, kung may mga watch collectors din dyan, I've got a couple of siguro. I want to know kung may kababayan tayong watch repairer. Because ang mahal magpa-service.
really? Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Maghahanap tayo. Maghahanap
Pag may
tayo.
mga
Magtatanong-tanong.
kababayan po
Oo.
tayo na watch.
Na
Si
marunong
Dan,
magano, no?
I wanna hear from Dan. I wanna hear from Dan. Kasi I bought a couple of one piece na kailangan ng service. Yun yung parang investment piece that I don't wear.
Si Dan Rebelo. May number ba ako ni Dan? Tingnan nga ako si Dan. Kasi he really collects. Sa kanya, talagang nangongolekta siya and he buys and sells them eh.
He buys and sells as well. Naku, nakakatawa. It's a good investment if you know what you're doing. It's really a good
Tawagan ko lang saglit ha. Tawagan natin saglit lang. Para ano lang. Ano lang. Nadidinig mo ba, attorney?
Naririnig ko po.
Baka ano. Di
Naka-break
ba?
busy siya.
No,
I'd love to meet him.
kasi, imit mo yan. Ako, grabe yan. Wide reader yan. Baka mamaya, banata ka niya ng mga poetry and prose, di ba? Pero mahusay ito. Dan Revelo. Kasama ng Friday Club namin nila Peps, no? This was the group created by ano pa tawag dito? Yung ating DCM, Deputy Chief of Mission, si Ambassador Ray Katapang. Nagkaroon kami ng grupo ng mga parang Friday Club, every Friday nakikita. So, ayan, naging Friday group dito yan very prominent dito yan sa London. Okay, attorney, ano yung topic na, teka muna, hindi pala topic, may ano topic natin bago dun sa mga pagbati natin?
Yes,
Napakaba
you
natin ano.
mentioned kanina, 11
Oh,
million cars on the road. So,
yes.
knock on wood, sana naman po walang
Mm.
aksidente. But, it does happen. Accidents happen. And this is a guide to road traffic accident personal injury claims or RTA na
Ayan.
tinatawag natin. Balikan niyo yung jargon buster. Kung
Oo.
nasa ano tayo, nasa YouTube, pwede ba tayo maglagay ng jargon buster ng RTA?
Yes. Oo, yan natin na.
Yeah,
Direct,
click
ha?
on the link. Subscribe
Oo.
kayo. Yes, this is a guide to road traffic accidents, personal injury claims. So yung mga
Yan.
get into an accident, hindi sa tingin mo, hindi ikaw yung may kasalanan. You suffered injuries, and you want to make a claim. This is the session for you. So we'll go through the entire process plus practical tips as well as yung legal side, the technical legal side. I'll explain kung ano yung mga elements of the case.
Ayan.
But first and foremost, safety. So hopefully the intention is wag kayo maaksidente. Sana po wag kayo maaksidente. But as I've said, it is it's a fact of life.
Okay, so yan ang topic natin for tonight. A guide to road traffic accident personal injury claims. Pupunta ho tayo, sa segue tayo ngayon sa ating mga pagbati, no? At ito contest kay attorney dahil ihuhulaan niya kung sino yung una bumate. Sige, roll. Okay, attorney. Ayan. Ba't yung road traffic na naman nandyan? Okay, attorney, okay, so sino sa palagay mo? Hulaan to, no? Mga kababayan natin, yung mga nanonood sa anumang bahagi ng mundo, pwede ho kayong bumati sa atin. All you have to do is go to Filipino TV Europe, i-like lang ho ninyo yung Facebook page, at pati sa YouTube. Nahuhuli din natin, nakuha mo rin ba yung direct yung sa YouTube kung sakali may bumati, no? Ipasok din natin yan. Alright. Dalawa ba yung pinasok mo? Anyway, okay. Sino ang unang bumati sa palagay mo, attorney?
Ngayon, sa tingin ko, si Marian Galicia Paner. I did say na pipiliin ko siya eh. Marian Galicia Paner.
Marian
Nakita
Galicia.
mo eh.
Hindi, last week ba? Teka muna, last week ba? Sino hinula mo?
No, hindi ko na matandaan.
Hindi mo na matandaan? Okay, sige. Okay, sa ngayon. Sige, Marian Galicia Paner. Tignan natin.
Si Oliver Fernandez.
Si Oliver Fernandez. Alright, okay. Oliver, mabuhay.
Ko lang, rotate ko lang, Oliver. Next week, ano ko na, ano nga yung coin toss ko na. Ayan.
Hindi, ano yan, it's a toss between si Marian or si Oliver.
Oliver Fernandez,
tama yan.
Ano bang isang masaya at natabunan ng Filipino TV Europe. Mapagpalang Martes sa lahat. Ating tunghayan ang isa na namang palatuntunang hitik sa kaalaman at impormasyon patungkol sa mga alituntunin sa pagdulog. Siguro laban sa mga saklang pangsasakyan dito sa
Galing naman, galing naman ni Oliver. Alam mo, sinubukan namin din yan. There was a time kami ni Jesse, we were sinusubukan namin talagang diretsong Tagalog, no? At nung araw nung ako nagsisimula sa broadcast sa Pilipinas, kasi English broadcaster ako, sinikap kong matuto ng Tagalog. Kasi although Tagalog tayo, iba yung broadcast talaga sa Pilipinas na no? Kamukha ng ganyan, no? Medyo malalim. Okay, malalim yun. Talagang tinagalog niya yung ating RTA, no? Personal injury claims, no? Oo nga nakakatuwa naman. Thank you very much, Oliver. Okay, attorney, sino ang ating salutatorian?
Paninindigan ko si Marian Galicia Paner.
Marian Galicia Paner, tignan natin. Okay, tignan natin.
Si Rudy Libroho.
Rudy Libroho, bibihira to, ha? Pumasok si Rudy na maaga, ha? Good.
Maaga pasok ni Rudy. Rudy, happy Tuesday po. Total Beauty Package, Attorney Donna. And always mga good-looking guys. Sir Sonny and Sir Edgar and Direct Lovely Paula and all happy viewers. from Team Lebrojo. Nako, Rudy, happy Easter sa inyo. I hope you had a good
happy Easter, no?
Oh, Easter break ng mga bata last weekend. Dami ko nakitang mga joyride, bakasyon, puro nag-Easter egg hunt lahat ng tao.
Oo nga. Yan sabi sa akin ni Peps, hindi siya libre Sunday yata. Tinanong ko sila kung anong gagawin nila. I wanted to just go for a joyride, no? And I ended up with Saturday with barbecue with my children. And sa Sunday, mag-iisa lang ako sa bahay, no? Okay lang, quiet naman. Okay lang 'yon. Naglinis-linis ng konti. Pag napunta tayo ng attorney, hanapin natin sila Rudy Lebrojo pag napunta tayo ng Belfast, no?
Belfast,
I'm
hindi
looking
pa
forward.
nakakapunta doon. I'd love to.
Hindi pa, okay. I've been there mga 3, 4, 5 times already, no? So,
wow.
yeah. Doon sa meron dong Hollywood yata. Hollywood. Ano ba? Hollywood ba? Parang parang one of the bus stops yun train stops, I should say. Going to... nakalimutan ko na. Anyway. Ayan, sino pa natin, attorney? Rudy, pag nandiyan kami, ipasyal mo kami, Sige. Sino pangatlo?
Pangatlo, siguro, panindigan ko na. Marian, panindigan kita. Huwag mo sasabihin na hindi kita pinasindigan.
Sige. Marian, Galicia pala nga ba? Wala natin. Wow! Okay naman. Very good. Marian Galicia Paner
says, hello po, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Dana. At sa lahat po, happy Tuesday po and stay safe. Always, God bless us po. God bless you din, Marian. Bakit hindi ikaw yung una? Natalo tuloy ako.
Tama. So, mabuhay, Marian, Mabuhay. Thank you very much for, at least ikaw nakapasok ka pa rin, Pero, bagamat hindi ikaw ang una, ikaw ang talagang unang nasa isip ni attorney. Pero Oliver, congratulations, Oliver.
Oliver, congratulations.
First,
Oliver,
Maraming salamat. Ayan.
Salamat sa malalim na Tagalog. Natuto din talaga ako.
Marilyn Jones. Marilyn
Jones. Si Tita Lola ba to? Tita Lola, ikaw ba yan?
Ayan ba si Tita Lola?
Hindi ba yan si Tita Lola?
Ayan ba
si Kasi si Tita Lola, birthday ata niya ng weekend Happy birthday.
Gano'n ba? Okay. Siya ba yung parang Okay, happy birthday.
Kailangan mag-intermission number.
Bilis ni Derek,
Galing ni Derek?
Okay ka lang ba, Derek, Hindi kaya tayo makapiright dyan? Okay lang ba yan?
Sana hindi tayo makapiright sa happy birthday.
Sana hindi makapiright, makakala. Akin yan, para kawawa naman si Ed Sheeran, alam mo, naawa ko. Although nanalo siya nung huli, thank God, nanalo siya, Di ba yung kanyang, ano pangalan nun? Kawawa naman lagi yan. Lagi na lang nag-claim sila sa mga song niya.
Parati siyang pinipirata.
Grabe, hindi naman sumikat doon sa kanta nila, original. Pero, kung may original man, pero hindi naman ginaya. Hindi naman siguro magagaya. Okay, si Marilyn, happy birthday, belated ba? Belated happy birthday.
Belated na po ata, yes.
Siya yung nasa table sa likuran natin, Attorney,
Kasama po yung mga
fabulous,
grupo.
The fabulous grannies. Fabulous grannies. Yan. Mabuhay, Marilyn, Mabuhay ka, mabuhay.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday. Uy.
Ayan na, ating roving reporter na nasa Scotland nga siya. Nakita ko siya. Yes. Happy Easter and Tuesday to Mr. Laragan, Attorney Dana, Direk Pawan, to the viewers. Working from home, napagod, kakalakad sa Scotland during Easter holidays. Lots of learning again. Thanks. Well done, Edgardo.
Bakit Scotland? So, how did you go there? Was it by train, Edgardo, o nagkotse ka o nag-bus ka? Paano ka nakarating doon?
Paano ka doon nakarating ng Scotland,
diba?
Edgardo?
Bakit naisip mo doon maglakad? Ayaw mong maglakad sa Surrey, sa Bedfordshire? Bakit doon, di ba? Bakit
sa Scotland ka naglakad, Edgardo? Ibigay mo daw ang pasun mo. At ang iyong itinerary. Saan ka ba?
Isang tanong lang, curious lang ako doon sa Ben Nevis Kaya ko bang akyatin?
Kaya mo yun. Kaya mo po.
When's the best time na akyatin siya na talagang convenient ba na hindi maginaw, hindi umuulan? Anong the best time of the year?
Wala,
Summertime?
you don't, you wouldn't. Yeah, summertime is your best bet, but you wouldn't be able to forecast yung Scottish weather kasi you could be going there sa Scotland in June and then that would be the day na uulan sa Scotland. So yeah, it's
Wow.
the weather iba po yung weather system sa bundok. So when I summited Ben Nevis, July ata yun eh. So summer. Pero yung taas niya, napakalamig po. So I had 3 seasons. I had a bit of sun. I had rain and hail. And pag summit ko, may snow pa rin sa
Parang
Benetes.
itong huling punta mo, attorney, di ba? Parang umuulan din, di ba? Parang, so,
Yeah.
there can never be a perfect weather doon. Pwede ba, kunyari, pagpunta mo, maulan, biglang pag-akit mo, maaraw? Pwede rin, no?
So, ang problema dun is, you plan in advance. So, lalo na kung big group kayo. So, you pick a date in advance. And you don't really know even if it's summer, you don't really know if that weekend will be a good weekend. So, sometimes, what I do, kung ako lang mag-isa, is I try, it's a bit of luck. So, titingnan mo 1 week in advance, may libreng holiday. Titingnan mo, maybe I'll go this week kung may weather window. Mas mataas yung chance mo kung summer because the good days are better. So you also have to look at mountain weather forecast, hindi lang yung forecast general na weather forecast. So may mga website mountain weather forecast that shows yung weather sa taas. So you have to look at the weather sa taas din.
Anong closest yan? Aberdeen, Dundee, saan ba yan? Hindi ko alam ang Ben Nevis.
Fort William. Fort William.
Fort William. Saan yan? Well, anyway, sige. Pwede
It's about 3
i-Google
hours
ko na
from
lang.
Glasgow, I think. 3 hours from Glasgow.
3 hours from Glasgow? Layo pa.
Malayo pa. Malayo pa.
Malayo pa. Okay. Wow, grabe.
I think so. I think it's 3 hours from Glasgow.
Yeah.
If I'm not
Okay, well,
mistaken.
we'll try to experience that, no? Kung sakasakali ma-conquer natin yung Ben Nevis, no?
You'll be fine, Mr. Laragan.
Kailangan makapal ba? Yung makapal ang suot yan? Kailangan?
Layers. You have to do
Layers. Para kung
Yeah,
sakaling mainit, tanggal. Pag malamig, patong lang.
Yeah,
Ayun.
you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Sige,
Siguro
sige.
ka lang, try mo mag-elliptical ng konti just so that your body knows what to expect na, or up and down stairs. Flight of
Okay.
stairs. But you'll be fine. You're in greatest.
Sige, we'll try natin yan. Try natin. So, Edgardo, tell us, bakit siya ka nagpunta? Ha? Bakit ka na pagod?
Paano ka napunta doon?
Paano ka napunta ron? At bakit yan ang napili mo? Okay, tuloy natin, attorney. Direct. Sige. Yan.
So
Rosemary
Rosemary
Guban.
Guban says, Hello po, Attorney DANNA and Sir Sonny, good evening, and sa lahat ng viewers, another Tuesday, another Dagdag Kaalaman Day.
Yes, so good evening, Rosemary, no? Ayan, no? Sino pa ba itong kasunod natin? Sheena.
Sheena
Ninay.
Ninay. Sheena, yes. Good evening po, Attorney DANNA and Sir Sonny. Happy Tuesday to all watching from Pinoy Radio UK.
Sige. Direct, sige, bilisan natin yan. Sige, okay lang yan. Sige, sunod-sunod rin natin.
Si Tita Emmeline.
Emmeline.
Tita, hello po.
Ayan, Wimbledon niya. May IPA, no? Wimbledon. Ayan,
Wimbledon.
Mabuhay. Uy, si Ninfa.
Kilala
Ninfa.
niyo po?
Well, naging estudyante ko si Ninfa sa broadcast speech development through broadcast training. Si Ninfa, Aragondon. Ando siya lumapit sa atin. Si Ninfa, happy Tuesday. Sige, basahin mo,
Happy
attorney.
Tuesday
Sige.
po. Happy Tuesday. Gabriel Tejero. Good evening. Okay.
Sa mga kababayan, watching from PRUK. Sige, go. Sige, okay. Binabasa ni attorney kanina na puto. Okay, sige, go ahead.
Gabriel
Attorney.
Tejero says, good evening po, Sir Sonny and Attorney DANNA. Good evening, Gabriel.
Good evening. Ayan, Gabriel.
Gabi.
Si Gab. Oo.
Nalu, ayan, hello po, Nay. Diyan sila
Oo.
Nawan yung inbox yan eh.
Yes,
Ayan.
okay.
Happy Easter.
Okay. Asan tayo, direct? Nasaan tayo direct ngayon? Ayan.
Ko tatanong weekend. Edgar Joy is here! Magandang
Oo.
gabi. Happy Dagdag Kaalaman Day sa inyong lahat. Hi, Attorney DQ, Legendary SL, Direct PPRP sa aking mga ka-classmates. Hi, Edgar. I hope you feel better. I hope okay ka na.
Ayan, okay. Edgar, nga pala si Edgar, nagkaroon ng COVID, no? Na-COVID, no? Oo,
Yeah.
Stan Levely.
Si Stanley, no, mayong
Oo.
gabi sa tanan. Mayong gabi,
Mayong
man.
gabi.
Mayong gabi. Mayong gabi sa mga Ilonggo.
Sir
Mga
Sunny Kag.
Sir
Ibig
Sunny
sabihin ng,
Kag.
ibig sabihin ng Kag, Kag ba?
And
Kag,
that's right.
Kag, Attorney Dana, mabuhay Stan, ha? Mabuhay ka, ha? Oo.
Mayong gabi, Stan.
Oo. Ano, half Chinese ba si Stan?
Ewan ko, Stan, half Chinese, half Ilonggo ba?
Oo, kasi Lee, di ba? Lee, oo. Yan na ba, last natin, Attorney?
No,
Meron pa ba? Direct pala.
Oh.
Oo.
Ang sarap po niya, Attorney Dana.
Yung kanina pinapakita mo. Okay, okay.
Naman. Thank you.
Oo, Analu.
Analu.
Ano kaya ginawa ni Analu ng weekend, no?
Si Analu ata umikot din eh. Oh, lumabas din ata.
Sige.
Nag-barbecue.
Ayan.
Emeline Rafael says, good evening, Sonny. Si Tita Emeline and Attorney Dana. And happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy Tuesday po, Tita Emeline.
Yes, Lady Emmeline, no? Happy Tuesday. Yan.
Amazing
Good evening. Amazing evening.
Amazing. Si Analu.
Oo. Amazing evening.
Naghang ata tayo.
Nawala ba si Attorney? Attorney, nawala ba?
Ayan, okay na.
Wala.
Naghang na.
Okay.
Naglag.
Sige. Mabuhay daw, sabi ni Ninfa Ragondon.
Mabuhay, Tita Ninfa.
Oo, Jenny Catuiza Back.
Yeah,
Oo.
have a wonderful Tuesday to everyone, lalo na kay Attorney Donna and Sir Sonny at sa ating lahat. Keep safe
Jenny-
po and
Jenny, mabuhay,
keep safe po and God bless to us.
Sige,
yes.
sige,
God
okay.
bless, Johnny.
Sige. Alright. Sige, sino to?
Anthony
Rachel Barawel. Magandang gabi,
Yeah,
Attorney Dana. Sir Sunny, happy dagdag kaalaman po sa ating lahat. Ayun.
Yun.
Alright. Sino to?
Idol.
Shiri.
Pa-shout out
Oh.
naman po. Kilala mo po ba? Watching from Hungary, yes. Watching from
Idol Shiri. Mabuhay. Watching from Hungary. Nako, kailangan mapunta tayo ng Budapest.
Budapest.
Budapest, yan. Ganyan ang
Ay,
pronunciation.
sister niyo po si Tita Lola. Nako.
Sister pala si Lola. Okay. Marilyn, oo.
Marilyn, thank you.
Ayan. Okay. LNER train.
Jam-pack travel
standing.
Wow! Parang Pinas.
Solo ka ba? Solo? May kasama? Bakit doon mo naisipan? No? Bakit nga ba doon, di ba?
Yeah.
Tapos, but we have a seat reservation. Scotland is very nice, as Edgar Duay will agree with me. Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
No?
We all
agree. Kami,
Yeah.
everybody will agree with you, no?
Everybody
Ayan.
will agree with you.
Oo.
Scotland's fantastic.
Okay, si Antipuesto yata itong susunod. Annalene, Antipuesto, ayun,
Amazing Tuesday.
Evening po, Attorney Dana and Kuya San, and to all viewers, God bless. Si Analu, okay.
God bless, Analu.
Alright, well, sige, okay na muna yan, no? Pansamantala. Kung may mga questions so kayo, pasok nyo, dahil mamaya, pagkatapos nung topic ni Attorney, we could give way sa mga questions ninyo, no? Okay, we're gonna have a short break at pagbalik ho natin ay yung topic natin pagka may RTA kayo, personal a guide to road traffic accident personal injury claims, kung paano kayo makaka-claim, no? Kung kayo ay may road traffic accident. So, ayan wag ho kayong alis, saglit po lamang, kami po ay magbabalik.
Mula doon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
100% all natural. Tasty. Healthy. Versatile. 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galetos.
May problema ka ba sa landlord mo? Baka AV ka na ni Kuya. May problema sa mga kapitbahay, sa trabaho. O kaya naman kay Mister o kay Mrs. Away tungkol sa mala, mga may utang, mga aksidente, daing o laban sa ospital or sa NHS, harassment, o baka naman may stalker ka na gusto mong ireklamo, punta na sa DV Solicitors para matulungan ka pagdating sa mga litigations at iba pang mga legal concerns. DV Solicitors at 2nd floor, Howard House, St. John Street, Bedford, MK42 0DJ. Tumawag sa 01234-350-244 or 01234-225-188 o kaya naman mag-email sa d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Visit our website at www.dvsolicitors.com.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, nako, balik na ho tayo sa ating programa. No? Ito po ang Legal Advice Corner. Ako po si Sonny LARAGAN. Kasama po yung ating pinakamamahal na Managing Director po, no? Or Managing Partner po ng Deo Volente Solicitors. Walang iba kundi si Attorney DANNA Quinto. Attorney, happy Tuesday evening once again.
Happy Tuesday evening again, Mr. LARAGAN, and sa lahat ng mga taga-subaybay. Ginaya ko si Oliver Fernandez. Naganap ako na. Wala
taga-subaybay, oo. Yung mga taga-subaybay. Ayan, sa ating palatuntunan. So, thank you, Oliver. Maraming salamat. So, sige, attorney, para ano? So, let's go. Take it away.
Yes, Mr. LARAGAN reminded us 11 million people on the road over the Easter weekend. And ayaw niyang lumabas kasi delikado. Daming madaming malakas ang traffic, madaming mga not usual drivers who's on the road at that time. And with that, normally doon nangyayari itong mga road traffic accidents na tinatawag natin, or what we usually call as RTA. So if you go back to our jargon buster, that's another episode that you might find helpful if you are interested in knowing about road traffic accident personal injury claims. That will give you an idea of kumbaga ibang series naman yun yung mga a short summary of the phrases and terms that I will use today. But for today, I will walk you through a road traffic personal injury claim, both the legal and the practical side of it. So, ang wish natin ay hindi pa rin magka-aksidente ang mga kababayan natin or even non-kababayan natin. But this is a fact of life. It happens even to the best of us. And we do hope that if you're in that situation, that you're recovering. And kung hindi mo kasalanan, that you'll be able to get compensated for the personal injury as well as other losses. And you will see that from what I will talk about later on. But first things first. Road traffic accident yan. So safety first. Safety muna. Bago nyo isipin kung magkaka-claim ako, may settlement ako, sino bang kukunin kong abogado. First things first. Safety first. So if you've had an accident, call an ambulance. Kahit sa tingin nyo, simple lang, yung simpleng whiplash lang yan, o we call it soft tissue injury. It's always a good idea to call an ambulance. Minsan, people feel, concussion lang yan, or, there's nothing, I don't see blood, so I'm not going to call ambulance. Sometimes internal hemorrhage, we don't see that. Very, very, nangyari sa amin. That's fine. We still have a light. That's actually quite cool. Mukha kang may spotlight. So you might not know that you've got internal injury. So it's always good to just get checked out. Call ambulance straight away, and then call the police. So call the police, because the police will look after trying to get evidence, talking to witness, getting information. Although, if you've been in an accident dito sa UK, you have to give details. So, kailangan mag-exchange kayo ng details ng driver. But it's always a good idea to also call the police, because they can do what we call a collision report. So, collision report is the official report ng police. They might give an indication kung sino sa tingin nila ang may kasalanan, but that's not the final word. I've had cases nasabi ng police, walang may kasalanan, but we were able to get compensation from the other side. Most importantly, andun din yung mga witnesses, so fresh pa. So kung ikaw ay shocked, you're not really in that conducive mood para magtanong at kumuha ng ebidensya sa mga witnesses. So call the police, call ambulance. Kahit sa tingin mo, sobrang simple lang yan. Simpleng aksidente lang yan. And get information. Get the driver's information, vehicle registration number, and insurance details. Safety first. So once, okay na, safe ka, okay ka naman, ambulance had looked after you, natawagan mo na yung family members mo. It's always good to call family members, kasi number one, sometimes you can't drive yourself back, so either they'll get you from there, or at least to calm you, to get you supported, emotionally supported. And also minsan sila ang magaling kumuha ng ebidensya. So in one of my cases, my client was actually had ankle fracture, so talagang dinala siya agad ng ambulansya. Natawagan niya na yung kapamilya niya, so the family members attended the scene, they talked to the police, they talked to the witnesses, and they took photos. So ang kumuha ng ebidensya yung mga kamag-anak, yung son-in-law niya, and that evidence was crucial, so crucial, because that evidence was used by a forensic scientist, At yung forensic scientist na to, they were able to figure out kung sinong may kasalanan just by looking at the photos. Yung final photo kung saan naglanding yung kotse, ano yung itsura ng damage sa kotse, skid marks. So all of those were used by the forensic scientist to do almost like a reenactment, kumbaga nila, although sa paper lang, reenactment of how the accident happened. That was very, very cool, in my opinion. And that won the case. That pushed the case to settle, because in that particular case, sabi ng police, wala daw 50-50 daw, pareho daw may kasalanan. Sabi ng kabila, so they said, sabi ng police 50-50, but my client was adamant. Sabi niya, alam ko kung ano nangyari. I didn't cross yung linya, the middle line. I was there. This is the road I've been using for 40 years. Alam ko kung ano yung road na to all the time. At this time, this is my usual way home, my usual time home. It wasn't my fault. My client was adamant. So we had to get the scientist, and yung evidence, the evidence that really was the star of the show, kumbaga, was the evidence provided or taken by the family members. So that's very interesting. Sometimes hindi galing sa atin, hindi galing sa kliyente ko, but from family members. So you secure the evidence. If you've got family members, sila yung kuha ng photos of the whole scene. So as long as it's safe, kumbaga, as long na kordon na ng police yun, you can take evidence, you can take photos. Photos of the car is most important. Kung ano yung, saan yung damage, whole damage, video, if possible. Photos ng mga skid marks, quite good as well, just in case later on. Also, this is the time to also take down from the police, although you don't need to. Yung police normally sila yung kukuha ng statements ng mga witnesses. But if you're there, if your family members are there, and if they're talking to people, so natural na tatanungin ng kamag-anak, ano nangyari? What happened? So, talk to people, see what happened, see what you can find out. Kasi sometimes there's the star witness na talaga nakakita na sabihin, ako, ito talaga nakita ko talaga kasi unobstructed yung view ko. One of my cases, CCTV, hindi tao, kundi CCTV ang nakakita. CCTV talaga yung perfect view of what happened. So, maybe not that day, but a few days later or a few weeks later, kung okay ka na, you can look at kung may mga CCTV evidence. Normally, police would do that, depende sa severity ng case, but you can also ask, with permission, you can ask for CCTV evidence, a copy ng CCTV evidence if the police haven't got that already. So quite interesting. One of the cases, talagang perfect view, nakita, and that was again very, very helpful for lawyers to really set out yung case namin na yung kabilang partido ang may kasalanan and not our client. So that's the next step. Next step is we'll go a little bit dun sa law, from practical to the law. Ano ba ang kailangan kong i-prove when I have a road traffic accident personal injury claim? In this industry, it seems that it always comes in threes, tatlo. Yung sa family matter, I always say about the three elements ng kailangan, three elements of what you need to do. Here in personal injury claim, tatlo din ang elements ng case. You have to prove liability. That the other side, what does that mean? That the other side has breached a highway code, that they failed in their duty of care to the other road user. So sila yung may kasalanan. Liability, that's what it means. You have to prove causation, that's second thing. What does causation mean? Causation basically means na yung injury na sinasuffer mo, because this is a personal injury claim, was caused by the accident and nothing else. Hindi dahil may sakit ka na, hindi dahil kasalanan mo. Well, that's liability. That's part of the liability question, but nothing else. So a lot of defenses that I get from insurers. So I mostly act for clients. Most of the time exclusively for claimants. Ako nag-act. So people who's trying to claim, and we go against insurers. So kami hindi. Most cases we talk to the insurers kasi lahat tayo dito insured sa United Kingdom, and even if hindi insured yung nakabangga sa inyo, may sangay ang gobyerno who will deal with those cases, uninsured drivers. So don't you worry about that. So we deal with insurers mostly, and sila yung they're very well funded. They have a strong army of lawyers who would come up with defense, rightly or wrongly so, depende sa sitwasyon. And sometimes they would attack the second element. Sasabihin nila, matanda yung client mo they're not in the greatest of health anyway, and they've suffered from this particular neck condition. This is a sample of one of my cases. My client said, this accident caused my neck to be this bad. And they said, well, your client has been, according to the medical records, because we normally disclose medical records, it says here that she's been suffering this particular condition. And kahit hindi nangyari yung aksidente, she will suffer this anyway. However, what we say to that, meron namang principle na accelerated yung deterioration, that, without the accident, we say our client would have been better. They were doing rehab ng neck nila in this particular instance, in this particular case. But this accident, ginulo pa ng lalo ang fragility ng neck na yon. So we also have this saying sa law, you take the victim as you found it. So it doesn't matter na halimbawa itong victim na to may sakit. It doesn't mean na bawal na siya, wala talaga siyang claim. But the lawyers would just have to debate, and this is a technical aspect of law, on which part of that was caused by the accident in itself. And we're assisted by medical experts. So that's the second element. And the third element is loss. So it should cost you loss. So losses are either general damages, which is what we call pain, suffering, and loss of immunity. So ito yung general, ito yung na fracture ka, or may bruises ka, may concussion ka. It could be psychiatric damages as well. A lot of my clients after a road traffic accident, kahit what people think is a simple road traffic accident, they do suffer from not necessarily, sometimes PTSD, but sometimes just general anxiety na ayaw nila, they have flashbacks. So that's fine, that's normal. Please do see your GP. It's not something to be embarrassed about. It happens to almost all cases. So there's a bit of flashback, a bit of sleepless nights about it. So make sure you talk to your GP about it. So that's general damages, yung physical manifestation ng injury. However, there's also what we call special damages, like financial losses, because of this injury. One client of mine was unable to work for, I think, 1 year or 2 years. And then it completely, because it was such a severe injury, it completely changed his life. He used to be a chef. This is without breaking confidentiality, and he had to retrain, or I think this one he's not able to work anymore, forever. So that's quite, the injury was so severe. So financial losses were actually more than the general damages. Where do we get these figures? General damages, we have what we call Judicial Studies Board. Meron po kaming libro published within the industry, which is a guide. It's not an exact science, it's just a guide. And we look at case law, so we look at other cases. And if it's slightly similar to yours, we use that case to support your case, to support your what we call schedule of loss. Ito yung quantum of losses. These are what we say you should get. Meron kaming listahan dyan as claimant solicitors, and we will say, well, this is what my client is claiming. Special damages should again be supported by payslips. So sinabi mo, I've been working for 20 years is this, and suddenly I can't work. You have to support that with payslips, P60s, any other evidence to show historic income, and then to say, well, it's most likely than not that I will continue earning this amount, but then because of this accident, I wouldn't be able to. So everything is supported by evidence, including, so pag sinabi mo you're still suffering from pain, I always say to my clients, please keep, which I will go to the next, please continue securing your evidence and keeping your evidence, including a pain diary. Kasi minsan dating, kamusta ka? Sabihin, masakit yung likod ko, masakit yung paa ko. And I will ask, well, when do you normally feel that bad? And pag walang pain diary, my clients would say, well, I'm not quite sure, I can't remember, but I know for a fact last week masyado siyang masakit. What I would say is, especially for the first 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months, depende sa injury mo, please keep a pain diary. Obviously, the more severe your diary is, the worse the painful periods, or the longer the painful periods are. So what I would say is, keep a pain diary. Lagay mo na kahit sa notes sa iPad, sa iPhone. You say today it's very, very painful. That will also help when you talk to your GP or some consultant sa hospital if it's an orthopedic case. When they say, kamusta ka? And you have that notes ready. Doc, last week, this time, it was not great. Maybe it was raining. What I've heard is if you've got metal pins, masakit kapag nagre-rain, or you really feel it pag nagre-rain. So you can tell your doctor as well as your lawyer a much more accurate report about how you are feeling, because that will be the basis, well, for your doctor, the basis of their prognosis and their treatment recommendation. And for us, that would be the basis of how we present your case. So, kailangan din namin yung impormasyon galing sa inyo. Really, really helpful. Pain diary. Next is keep your expenses. So, yung mga punta nyo sa hospital, if this is a case where you have to go to a hospital all the time, parking, prescription receipts, rehabilitation. Some of my clients would do private acupuncture or private physio. So, keep all of your receipts. The same with damage on property. So isa din sa what you can get his damage ng property. So may client ata ako who was a cyclist and na-damage yung bike niya na napakaganda, very much loved bike. It was a very special bike. So we had the receipt, meron resibo kasi online niya binili. So we were able to prove that that bike was worth a few £1,000s. And we said, well, hindi niya na magamit ngayon. It was written off. So please, can we add, and we say to the insurers, well, we're adding that to the claim. So you must keep track of evidence as you go along. Di lang no day one. So as you go along, keep track of your yung mga expenses because of that claim, and keep track of the pain as well as what you're feeling, general symptoms, so you can report that back, hindi lang sa lawyers, most importantly, sa doctors niyo po. So in this case, as I've said, we're helped by medical experts. We normally hindi po kami medico, but although we're able, because of the skill set, we're able to read medical records accordingly. We're able to read medical reports accordingly. You pick that up over time. You get used to terminologies. You get used to guidelines, protocols, stepwise process ng mga doktor. So we, personal injury lawyers, we normally deal with usual orthopedic, psychiatrist. For simpler cases, meron kaming standard form of expert medical report. We call it the Medco expert. You don't have to worry about that. What he is that yung industriya namin merong isang database, so vetted na sila ng insurers, and most of these are GPs, and they would do a simple report on how this case or how this accident, ano yung prognosis, how this accident has affected your day-to-day life, and kung ano yung treatment plan. So very, very simple. When we get to complex and serious personal injury, had a case of a traumatic brain injury, sometimes we have to get 2 or 3 separate reports, or reports that have to be updated after a year or 2, kasi naghihintay kami na magplateau na yung symptoms, and that we know that the client is either not getting better or not getting worse anymore. At alam namin, this is it. This is what will be the situation for the rest of his or her life. So we work with a lot of we tend to have 2 or 3. Minsan kailangan mong orthopedic, a neurosurgeon if it's a traumatic brain injury. Depende kung ano yung main impact. So sometimes you may have to go at that point, I think there was a speech expert as well, because they had an impact at first in speech. Psychiatric, because of PTSD at times. So pain management expert as well. That's quite a usual for very, very very severe injury. At hindi lang yan once, kasi minsan sasabihin nila, ito DANNA, it's 6 months in the claim. So sabihin nila, we'll have to see after a year kung better na siya. We say maybe after 18 months they will get better. But 18 months had passed, my client comes back to me, dala-dala yung pain diary niya and yung book of mga evidence niya, and he or she would say, well, hindi pa, I'm not feeling better, and it's fine, because it's not an exact science, ano lang din yun, opinion lang yun, and then we'll have to do another report. So, evidence will depend on the severity of your claim, and kung yung injuries nyo are healing accordingly, and kung kailangan pa ng what we call updating report. As I've said, it's 3 years before. It's only, you would need to settle or sue the other side within 3 years. So we're working with a shorter time frame. That's the reason why we have to keep an eye on how you are, how the case is progressing, how the prognosis is progressing. So very short window. So please work with your lawyer, work with your doctors in trying to get you better, and in trying to convey yung full picture dun sa insurers or dun sa defendants. As I've said, ito yung area ng law that sasabihin mo, most of the time people say, well, lawyers are expensive, I can't afford a lawyer. This is an area of law where a lot of lawyers would offer a no-win, no-fee. Including us, and that includes us. That includes myself, and that's actually quite the norm in personal injury cases. Because if you know that the case is pretty strong, you know that there's a good chance of a settlement, of a win, and then the other side, in that instance, will have to pay the lawyer's cost as well. So don't worry if you feel, oh, tight yung budget. There are lots of lawyers who would do a no-win, no-fee. So hindi po yun, hopefully that would not prohibit you from making a claim. A lot of these cases do settle because of litigation risk, and also because lots of clients find litigation quite stressful, miserable minsan dahil it's not an ideal situation. A lot of my clients are already, especially what I found in serious cases, serious personal injury cases, when you really I feel very strongly in those cases, because I feel a huge responsibility to assist someone in getting to a better phase in their life, better stage in their life, and they can get compensated. But they would feel a lot of my clients, and probably all of my clients, would say, nah, I would rather have my health back. Instead of this compensation, I would rather have, if I can turn back time, I would rather have my health back. And that's the reason why I would end with this. Even though it's a guide to road traffic accident personal injury claims, still, ang wish ko po sa inyo, hindi nyo ko kailanganin. And you be safe all the time, and you would never have to make a claim like this ever. But if it does happen, and because that is a fact of life, hopefully this will assist you, and I'm hoping and praying that you'll be on your way to full recovery, and you will be compensated as aptly and as appropriately as what you deserve. So keep safe. Safety first. That's the most important thing.
Ayan. At least may hope, no? No win, no fee, no? Pwedeng ganun pala, no? As long as medyo maganda-ganda ang case, so they don't have to worry about mga lawyers. Katulad ninyo, no? Attorney, no? Oo, ayan. Ano sabi mo kanina, within 3 years ang pinaka suable date or something, or mga for any
3 years, a limitation period, 3 years.
Limitation period.
Although na-extend po yan by agreement, that can be extended by agreement. Lots of my cases got extended during the pandemic dahil life slowed down during pandemic. Mahirap maghanap ng expert, lalo na expert na minsan kailangan tingnan yung kung ano nangyari dun sa fracture, hindi na matingnan dahil lockdown. So lots of my cases were extended, but it's 3 years. You have to put it in your mind, the 3 years, maliit lang yung time period, so you'd have to act fast.
Yung meron kayong sabi mo sa general damages, meron parang guidebook, no, parang kung magkano from previous no.
That's right.
Pero yung special, so meron kayong more or less na may idea sa rates dahil may mga previous cases. So special damages, how do you determine it?
We look at, pag loss of earnings, we look at your historic earnings. Historic earnings.
So
and there is may must technical way. So if and I had this case, I had a case of wala na talaga, he wouldn't be able to go back to work. So we have this a guidance, may mga multiplicand. It's quite complicated working out yung appropriate na calculation, and that's where we get to justify our existence as lawyers, because that's when it gets very complicated. Yung right multiplier, multiplicand, depende sa babae man or lalaki, guided by the court. There's guidance by the court, but we have to figure it out using your historic figures for earning, and then using that recommendation by the court. It's a bit of actuarial science, so may konting mathematics done, which I enjoy it. I'm a bit of a math nerd, so I enjoy that way. But then it's not also completely an exact mathematics, kasi may ways to say, well, I'm going to use this figure or this multiplier because of X, Y, and Z. So there are lawyer ways to submit na higher siya or lower siya, depende sa sitwasyon. But you have to you have to look at your client's case. This is very client specific, individual specific. And what tends to happen, and this is, I go with them, this serious injuries could take a few years to get settled, just because it will take a couple of years to get the full prognosis of the client. And throughout that time, you really have to get to know your client. You have to get to know how this injury had affected them as an individual. Kung sino sila dati before sa injury, and sino sila ngayon. So we would have a victim impact statement, kung ano yung nangyari sa kanila. The same with their family members. And it's, minsan talaga mamumove ka. You know, you've got people who's really able, very, very robust, very spirited, and then this particular accident had turned them into a different person. And you try, you know, the idea is to get that person back to who he was when, you know, before the accident happened, but it's really not a perfect system. Mahirap ibalik. Most of them would say, I would not want the money. I would rather have my health back.
Wow, okay nga. Medyo touching yan, no? Loss of income, okay lang, pero yung health mo, no? Yung dati kang 100%.
Especially permanent damage, especially in cases where there's permanent damage.
Grabe, no?
And yun talaga yung mga cases that, for me as a lawyer, you know, this is very special for me because this is one case that this is an area of law that I really pursued on my own when I was a younger lawyer. Both this and clinical negligence. So when I was a younger lawyer, I had a few big cases that, you know, with the help of mentors, I really tried to dig deep. And dun ko na feel na, may hopefully may impact yung gagawin ko if I can get this person the right settlement package, the right, kumbaga, if they would feel that at least, you know, they got to somewhere better kumpara dun sa unang, you know, when they're hit with this accident, they feel, you know, some of them feel na, this is very, very tragic, especially, when they can't walk, they can't see, they're not themselves anymore. It's a very interesting area of law. Very interesting.
Okay. Attorney, may tanong tayo, no? Yata, no? Pakipasok na natin yung kay Edgardo yata. Ayan, okay. Sige, go. Direct. Okay. Meron tayong tanong dito mula yata kay Edgardo Kagahasyan, no? Sige, attorney, pakibasa. Ano, wala yung audio ni attorney. Sandali, attorney, sandali. Wala kaming marinig sa'yo. Okay, let's go, attorney. Yeah, pakibasa ulit.
Okay na po?
Okay na, perfect na. Yeah, meron na.
Attorney Donna, if someone is hit by a car and the car run away, the victim was unable to get the plate numbers, and the victim gets you as his solicitor, what will you initially advise the victim? So first and foremost, we try to do a bit of fact finding. So this case happened to me in the past. I had a similar case. We tried to do our best to find out who the driver is. So we look around and see kung may CCTV. So you go back, you look at Google Earth, tingnan mo kung sino may shops doon, and we'll try to write to them and say, have you got a CCTV for this particular angle? Tatanungin ko kung may mga witnesses ba, kung police may CCTV ba doon. I would try my best to find out kung sino yung driver. If I can't, or if nakita yung accident but can't find the plate number or the driver's insured, and that's normally the reason why nagra-run away yung mga driver. That's normally the reason na hindi sila nagsistop to give information. And also that's criminal if you don't stop in an accident and give your information. That's criminal. So you have to report that to the police para tulungan rin kayo kung sino yung driver na yon. If we can't find the driver, can find the car but can't find the driver, you can approach what we call Motor Insurance Bureau. Sila yung nagdi-deal with uninsured drivers. So I had a claim and I was a younger lawyer, exactly the same thing. It was a hit and run. I tried my best. We had a bit of lead, but for some reason, I think naglayas overseas yung driver at hindi na talaga siya mahanap. So we set the claim. My client, hindi naman loss of an eye, but there was a massive impact on his, I think, left eye, one of the eyes, and he wasn't able to do as much work anymore. And we were able to get the appropriate compensation from that particular department of the government. So there's still hope. Yun ang lesson dito. But we still have to do, hindi lang, wala yung driver at wala kang ginawang fact-finding, wala kang ginawang efforts to find. So you'd have to paper trail, you have to give a paper trail of your efforts na talagang ginawa mo lahat. Call the police, involve as much as you can kung sino man ang pwedeng kunan ng ebidensya. And if you can't find, you submit the evidence. If you can't find the driver, you could submit that evidence under yung mga uninsured, a claim for uninsured drivers. Sir.
So may nakuha palang nakakapag-claim yung client nyo, ganun ba?
And it was pretty
Sino nagbayad? Yung gobyerno? Gobyerno nagbayad yan?
Gobyerno.
May palang ganun, ha?
An insurance. Actually, I don't know if it's purely government or we pay or subsidize ng government, but
Okay.
I think it's part of what we pay to tax. So, yeah, we were able to get
Good. That's good news.
A decent sum for him, and my fees were paid. It was a no-win, no fee. My client did not pay me anything. I got my fees paid by them.
Wow. Nangyari sa akin kasi yan, di ba, nabangga ako binangga ako at yung mga motorsiklo, biglang tumakbo. Hindi niya alam, may CCTV ako. Na-trace and eventually yung may-ari nung motorsiklo, pero yung driver, ayaw niyang bigay yung pangalan o kung sino ang nakabangga. I don't know kung illegal or something, no? Kaya siguro tumatakbo yan. Ganun talaga, di ba? Pagka illegal o hindi no?
Illegal.
Mga illegal aliens, no? Hindi nakaano rito. Doon tumatakbo yan, tinakbuhan ako eh. First time ko mabangga, hindi ko alam how to deal, lalo na may mga first time na gano'n. Hindi mo alam kung paano. Hindi mo alam kung ano gagawin eh.
Exactly. Call the police straight away. Call the police. The police will call the ambulance. Will call the ambulance and the police. If there's something that you must remember from this episode, two things: call the police, call the ambulance, and be safe. That's it.
Pero ang nangyari sa akin, attorney, ang galing nag-advise sa akin yung ano ba tawag doon? Yung mga yung mga nakatayo lang.
Yung mga bystanders.
Bystanders, bystanders. Pero yon gusto niya harangin eh. Marunong siguro dahil naka-experience na ng mga ganong gusto niya pigilan, kaya lang tumakbo eh.
Delikado din na.
Delikado. Sabi niya, if you want me as a witness, I'll be a witness. Tapos, tawagan mo lang yung pulis. Kasi ang susunduin ko si Sol noon. So, parang hindi ako pwede maghintay ng pulis. Mahuhuli dahil, alis yata kami ng Spain the following day eh. Parang ganun eh. But anyway, so, yan lang, aking naisingit lang. May tanong tayo rito, sige, attorney. Sige, direct, pakipasok nga lang yung ating, may tanong tayo dyan. Okay, ano yan? Ito. Good evening, attorney.
Donna and Sir Sonny, kakagaling ko lang po ng divorce with my British husband. Sa Pilipinas po kami ikinasal. Meron po kaming isang anak. I'll be honest, I don't have the ability to raise our child dahil part-time lang po ang trabaho ko ngayon dito sa UK. I just want to ask if there's still a chance na sa akin mapunta ang anak ko kahit maliit lang po ang kinikita ko. Maricar S. Maricar, it's not about, yung kinikita or hindi. You can apply for child maintenance sa husband mo. What would impact kung sino yung live with parent, with the child's primary carer, is what is in the best interest of the child. So, if you're going to say, well, I want to be the live with parent, I may not have the means, but here's the plan, here's my plan kung ano yung gagawin ko, practical plan. This is how, my work hours are this. I can look after the child on this during this time. I can look after my kids during in between schools. I'm happy for my husband to have a meaningful and positive relationship with the child. Have a look at child tax credits as well, Maricar, so you can get some help from the government to top up your income even though you have a childcare. So hindi ang basihan dito kung ano yung kinikita mo. Ang basihan dito is yung welfare ng bata. Ano yung best interest ng bata. And if you're able to provide a stable and positive environment for the child, there's nothing stopping you from saying, well, I want to be the primary carer. And ito yung plano ko, very practical. I work from 9 till 3. I can look after the child on a day-to-day basis and then apply for child maintenance from the father. Through the child maintenance services online, napakadali lang po.
Ayan. Okay. Child maintenance, no? Plus, di ba, may mga benefits ng mga bata, di ba? Dito sa Pilipinas. Sa
child
Pilipinas, sa UK.
benefit, child benefit, child tax credit. But as I've said, the money has got nothing to do. Has got nothing to do with your ability to parent your child. If you are, if it's in the best interest of the child that you'll be the primary carer, then you should be the primary carer. Marami pong sa ngayong gobyerno, kaya nga may mga child tax credits tayo dito. May mga child benefit. That's to assist single parent. And then you have the child maintenance services as well, who can get the child maintenance directly from your husband.
Ayun, good. Good. So pwede, pwede pala. Ex-husband na. Oh, okay. Right. Meron okay. Nagpapasalamat siya, no. Thanks, Attorney Dana. Asan yung message?
The food you put. Pwede makakayaan sa ko. Yes. No, be good one day. I'll host everyone. I'll host everyone one day. Luto ako.
Sige. Okay. Well, wow. Ayan, kita nyo, talong na, merong, sibuyas, garlic, okay yan. At marami pa. Okay, may second question. Okay to si Edgardo, talagang food, lover. Okay, attorney yan, kay Sam.
Kay Sam, magandang gabi po, Attorney Donna and Sir Sonny. Hope everyone is fine. I need your help with advice po. I'm a Filipino citizen married to a British citizen. I have 3 kids with my previous partners in the Philippines before. Not married, okay? Nandito na po ang mga anak ko sa UK, okay? They came here 3 years ago. Now my hubby wants to adopt them and so we can change their last name. Ang problema ko po is yung eldest daughter ko na naka-apelyido sa ex-partner ko po. As of now, wala po akong contact, sa kanyang biological father. Itatanong ko po sana if may magiging problem po ba sa magiging adoption process. Thanks and be safe always. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not an adoption expert. But I can just, ang aking dito is potentially may jurisdiction issues ka. I'd like to know kung sino ang nakalagay sa birth certificate ng anak mo sa Pilipinas. I'm not very aware. Hindi ako Filipino. I don't practice in the Philippines, so I'm not very up to date kung ano yung mga legal position done in terms of adoption. But what comes to mind is I think you may have to consult a Filipino lawyer first. Although andito sila, the jurisdiction ng birth nila is nasa Pilipinas. So I think it will be best to check there first. And then I'm gonna have, after that, I think it's worth having a chat. We may need an adoption expert here, but this is international adoption because this is not yung jurisdiction ng may parental responsibility sa kanila nasa Pilipinas. So that's just my slight issue of the case. Here, if you want to have parental responsibility for a child, you're gonna have to apply to the court na andito yung mga bata. Potentially may jurisdiction din tayo. Very simple. As I've said, yung law dito, very simple in terms of the children, that it's in the best interest of the child for the court to make such order, whatever order it is that you are asking. But the only thing here is I can naamoy ko ang jurisdiction, a potential jurisdiction concern. So best to also ask a Philippine lawyer, and then I think we talk after you've consulted a lawyer in the Philippines. I'm very interested. I think it may be an application for parental responsibility, but we have to tie that up with the UK jurisdiction, with the Philippine jurisdiction.
Okay, all right.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Salamat.
Okay, Sam, thank you. Okay. So baka meron tayong mga comments pa siguro. Final ano natin dito. Comments. Ito. Okay. May tanong yata si Edgar Duway lang.
Maraming Pinoy dito na learners pa rin ng license.
Pinoy.
Ano
Kala ko
mapapayo
Pinoy.
mo
No? Pinoy pala. Nawala yung Y. Naging U. Pinoy.
pagdating sa involvement sa accident? I mean, you can only drive as a learner so much, di ba? May mga rule ang mga learner dyan. Accident is an accident. Whoever's, a learner must be accompanied
Teka muna, ano ba learner? Yung, P pala yung pass. Pag nag-pass, naglalagay siya ng sticker na ano. Pero ang rule talaga sa learner, attorney, you have to be with somebody who has at least 3 years of driver's license, di ba?
Yeah, you have to be with someone. Kakatay ko lang yung theory test ko.
Oo nga, ganun. Nasa theory test. You have to be accompanied or together in the car with somebody with a minimum of 3 years, no? Of full drivers.
Insurance. Feeling ko ka-insurance nila yung madadamay dyan eh. Pag
So ka-insurance siguro, di? Kung sino yung may dala ng insurance.
I would imagine, sir.
Oo, yun bale. So,
Or kung walang insurance na cover yon, pwede kang i-sue personally.
pwede ka ba makulong pagka gano'n, kamukha na learner ka, tapos tinakas mo yung kotse?
Depends. No, that's theft. So,
Hindi, tinakas mo yung kotse sa daddy mo. Ganun lang, attorney. Hindi naman talaga yung ninakaw. Kundi, di ba, hindi naman all the time.
Driving without a license, don't you? You're driving without a license. So
driver without a license, delikado, no?
Yeah, that's a crime, isn't it? Separate naman yon sa civil na claim. Yung crime na if you're breaching a criminal law, a criminal statute, then that's separate. It's up to the CPS kung depende siguro sa severity ng ginawa mo.
Yeah, okay. All right. May mga messages. May mga last messages na tayo. Direct, meron ba tang before that para tuloy-tuloy na yung mga yung mga pagbate para pa-ending tayo? Sige, ano lang.
Ayan.
Okay. Hindi pumapasok, nagkakaroon ng technical problem na. Pero basahin ko lang, meron dito, basahin ko lang sa gilid dito. Sabi ni Edgar Duway, sarap ng mga luto mo. Pang brochure, sabi niya. Ayan pala, pumapasok naman pala direct eh. Akala ko sabi mo hindi pumapasok.
Ayan. Yeah. Ayan, bukas na kayo na Sol ng restaurant na Medana special. That's cool. That would be cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, si Sol used to have a restaurant and a bar, no? Sa Spain.
Wow.
Sol's Bar, tsaka isang, ano ba pangalan isa? Yun nga. Nakalimutan ko na isa. Okay, okay, sige, wala na ba? Sino pa mga pagbati riyan? Sino to?
Arnulfo
Esios. Kumusta, Attorney Dana
Hello
Quinto?
po.
Kumusta? Taga saan ka, Arnulfo?
Oo.
Okay. Ayan, okay. Alright. Okay na. Wala na ba? Wala na? Okay na ba yan? Direct? Wala na? O sige. I guess, yun na muna. Unless baka may makita si Direct na ano. Okay. Well, ayan. So, si May Tigbaw, nag-message. Ayan.
May Tigbaw Vargas.
Nakahabol. Siguro, baka nagluto to. Kung anong pinagagawa nito bago pumasok. No? May, mabuhay ka, ha? Thank you. It's been a long time since we last heard from you, no? Okay. All right. Well, sige, attorney, paano ka ba makakontak? Paano ba, kunyari, yung mga no-win, no fee at marami pang mga bagay, no? Na kung meron silang nais malaman about the law, no? Dito sa UK. Paano ba? At baka may mga shout-outs ka or anything na gusto mo idagdag doon sa na-discuss natin. Go right ahead, please, attorney.
Yes, you can contact me at, hindi na po yan, updated
Hindi
na po kami.
Direct. Ano pa ba nailagay? Danna.Quinto ba?
Danna.Quinto. Binuo na nila yung pangalan ko.
Danna.Quinto. Pakibuo mo lang direct. Pakilagay lang ang Danna.Quinto. Yan, Danna.Quinto.
The reason for that is we're trying to get everyone's email here na uniform kami lahat. So, Danna.Quinto at dvsolicitors.com. 01234225-188. I just want to shout out kay Direk, always there to assist us. Maraming salamat, Direk. And to our legendary Laragan, dapat may shout out din tayo sa ating pinakamamahal na slim na Mr. Sonny Laragan. Thank you so much, Mr. Laragan.
Thank you so much din, no? Sana magdilang anghel ka, ha? I'm trying to lose yung aking body fat down to at least 22, no? Nasa 26, 27 pa ako, eh. Oh, 22. Oh.
You're really looking well. If ating i-shout out ang iyong disiplina, nakaka-inspire talaga. So it's
Pinagbablush mo
very,
naman ako.
very proud na proud
Nagbablush,
piniflex ko ang aking co-host.
nagbablush naman ako, attorney niya, no? No, it makes, no, it's just, lang, it's a matter of dieting lang, eh. And so, I don't know kung pangit yung pagpayat ng mabilis, no? Parang mukha tayong ting-ting, pero okay lang, no? At least, okay lang, at least, no? Si Brad Pitt daw, at his best, he was about 150 to 100 something pounds, no? So, tas bulky pa siya. So,
Bulky
nasa ano
siya,
yan eh. Oo, nasa maganda yun kung gano'n ang ano. Ano tong, may message ba? May mga malabas tong si Direk, ano yan?
Good
night, sweet dreams. Alright.
Ed, pagaling ka, Ed, ha? Pagaling ka, Ed. And Edgardo, good night. Bigay mo sa akin ng taba. Gagawin mo bang butter?
Hindi, kung pwede nga lang eh, no? Pwede nga lang eh. I don't know, I'm down to size 28 na yata eh. No? Wala akong makita ngayong 20, naghahanap ako sa ano eh. So size 28, from 36 to 28, ayan.
Wow,
So,
amazing!
Oo,
Ayan.
36, 34. So, thank you,
Wow.
Attorney Dana. Sabi niya, oy, Kuya Sunny, direct
Si
proud to
Ana Lu.
everyone. Si
Thank
Ana
you,
Lu.
Ana Lu.
Ayan. Thank you, Ana Lu, ha. Maraming salamat. Ako si Ana. Ano
And
kayo ginawa ni Ana Lu ng
Edgardo
weekend?
Magahatan. Edgardo si
Yes.
roving reporter na hindi siya
Oo.
roving ngayon.
Well, magandang idea yun, ha. Nagpunta ng na Scotland. Maglalakad ka lang doon. And sinabay mo pa sa bank holiday weekend, no? So, very good. And I hope you had a grand time. Kwentuhan mo kami pagka nagkaroon tayo ng chance na umupo at mag-coffee, no? Okay.
Yes.
Well, maraming salamat sa attorney, no? Ikaw ang actually reason why we have this program, no? Existence ng program na to, dahil nga sa advice na binibigay mo, katulad halimbawa nitong yung guide natin, no? Sa road traffic accident, no? Personal injury claims. So, ayun kung meron kayong mga nais itanong, kontakin lang ho ninyo si attorney. Manood kayo ng programa nito, ipagkalat ninyo sa inyong mga kaibigan, let them know na meron gantong programa ho rito para ho sa ating mga kababayan dito ho sa United Kingdom. Well, sa ngalan ni Attorney Dana Quinto, ni Direk Paula Perez, ito po si Sunny Laragan nagsasabing thank you very much sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay dito po sa Legal Advice Corner, no? Every Tuesday. So let's do it again next Tuesday. So till then, take care, God bless, and good night. Bye!
Good night. Bye-bye.
%100% all natural. Tasty. Healthy. Versatile. 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galetos.